blame the age of social media. Like, yeah, social media can kind of be toxic, but I feel like the real issue is how these children are raised out here, especially in the city of Memphis. A lot of these children are not raised right, and a lot of these children are raised in single parent households, and that these children are taught to react in a negative way, like pulling out a gun. Like
the landscape of media has changed. At one point in time, there was nothing but newspapers. Then there was the TV news. But now, everybody's online, telling this and telling that, giving information, misinformation, misguiding people. So I guess I got to change with the time, because everybody has. And welcome back to Everybody Has a
podcast.
Man, I feel like I've done this before. But ladies first. We have done that before, and big week for softball if you're a Brighton Lady Cardinal. Caitlin Chapman, the star pitcher, signed earlier this week to Southwest and picked up a big win against Millington. She's been pitching lights out ever since Coach Medicaid gave her the ball. Millington, they suffered a second loss to Brighton, so Brighton has moved up in the league play, up in those rankings. Covington got revenge against Millington, so Millington's been in a little of a slump with lineup changes and all that kind of stuff. So Chapman is pitching well. So whoever's pitching the best in May is going to come out on top at this tournament time. It doesn't matter the seeding and stuff like that. It's how well you're playing in May. So Bolivar is in the mix because they played Millington pretty tough in the ball game. Millington was up 4-0. Bolivar came back, tied it up, but Haley Stevens came up with a sacrifice fly to get her team a win for the Millington Lady Trojans. They're just Haley in the lineup with Riley Washburn. It's just a whole bunch of things going on. Jade Fowler, who all the three girls I just mentioned for Millington are in the 100 hit club. So Millington has the proven bats. Katie Graves, once she gets that mental lock in, she's getting stronger and stronger. We have to give her grace. This is only her first year pitching. And I know Katie's your girl. So what do you want to say to encourage Katie?
I mean, I think Katie can do good. Like, it's her first full year pitching and being the starting pitcher. So she just has to get used to it and, work hard to improve and all that stuff,
Okay.
And if they keep practicing and actually, adjusting and improving, they could definitely beat Brighton.
All right, so the only time would tell.
But my thing is, though, real quick, Millington beat Mumford. Mumford beat Brighton. It would have made sense for Millington to beat Brighton if they beat Mumford, You
can't do that in softball.
But
it doesn't work.
Technically, mathematically, that does make sense. But
all you just said was any team could beat any team on any given day.
Yeah, true.
And real quick, TRA, sorry, USJ got you 10-0 in that rematch. Still solid number 2 in those rankings. USJ, is Coach Sanfratello got to make up some room. But Bolivar, Millington, we got some highlights, and we also got some Mumford Cordova highlights that everybody can check out. Mumford put a beat down on Cordova.
That wasn't even a game.
It was just a beat down.
They tried to go easy on them at the end, and it was still bad. They were bunting, and they still was making terrible throws. But I don't know, how long has Cordova had their softball team?
Forever, but the program has taken a dive.
Oh, well, it looked like this was their first year ever having a softball team.
But hey, Coach Book out there, keep the spirit up. Hey, you got the girls out there having fun. So we got a highlight in there for them too. So check it out. Man, it's recap time, and baseball saw Bolivar keep themselves in contention in their league by beating Millington. Now, when they play Brighton this week, Brighton split with Covington, so Brighton and Bolivar are 1-2, and then they play their 2-game series this week to determine who be the regular season number 1. Our Millington Trojans just been suffering injuries. You know, it was just bad timing. You got Chris Duckworth out. You got Mr. West End Media himself, Cole Hawkins, out. Tyler Morgan, the ace pitcher, is nursing an injury, trying to get him through rehab. So it's just bad luck for the Millington Trojans. Covington is still in the mix. TRA went up to Brighton, picked up a big win for their baseball team, so they're playing solid, and they're getting some out-of-league play so to keep themselves sharp. And Mumford is, battling in their league. I'm going to check them out against Bartlett this week in their league play as they're playing in that tougher league. But the main talk of the week going into last week was soccer, Brighton Millington, and the showdown that was going to happen. And they played each other on the 14th. Some unfortunate events happened on the 14th, and I got some miscommunication on information. So I went to softball, baseball instead, because I thought the game might be postponed because of the tragic events that we're going to talk about later. But they played, and Brighton won 2-0. And what that game let me know, that score let me know, is that Millington is competitive, but Brighton, who only lost to Lakeland and USJ, are good.
Yeah.
But now Millington is in that league. You only lose 2-0 to them. You can play with them. Coach E and the Trojans just had to make an adjustment. You said Brighton would win today, but Millington could get better. So do you still feel that way?
Of course. We've seen Millington change, drastically throughout the season, where they go from looking like deer in headlights to, a machine. So I feel like if Brighton starts degressing, and Millington keeps progressing, then yes. But it seems like Brighton they might end up being a big dog out there.
Well, Coach Brown wants history.
Yeah.
And so they are hungry. They have not restate yet. They made it to sectionals last year. So the hunger for Brighton is going to stay there. Millington was going to push them. So I think we've seen this happen time and time again when those two close soccer teams just keep playing each other. Third and fourth time, it gets closer and closer. We got to go to extra kicks and all that kind of stuff. So I think we're going to prepare to stay for long games in May when it comes to tournament time.
And Millington is very aggressive, so I feel like maybe they could possibly tire Brighton out with their awesome defense, because they actually have pretty good defense. It's just they need to get that offense to, for them to get the shots, because you can stop people from getting shots, but you got to be able to get a shot yourself to win.
Simple strategy in soccer. And I caught up with Coach McGann in Mumford. They're in that tough league with Houston, who trains out in England in Manchester. When you go in there to make yourself better overseas in the hub of football, soccer.
Yes.
Wow. So, and then Bartlett is in that league with Mumford. We've been in the state championship game. So that's a quality program. So it's really tough because Mumford, we saw them beat Millington. They're a quality team, but they're playing a league with Collierville and Arlington. Yeah. So it's just going to be tough. But
like I said, the principal going to have to kick some students out so they can go back to dominating the league.
But Dr. Fee, I know she looks across the street at Mumford High School. She sees those beautiful homes being built. More and more kids are coming. So help is on the way. Yeah. Because the school is growing. Wonderful programs out there. They do a wonderful job. The administration and staff out there at Mumford High School, they put out some top-notch, high-merit scholars out there. So they're going to welcome the kids in, but maybe for the next couple of years, they got to bite their hands.
Take the lumps.
Yeah.
Take some beatings.
Right upside the head.
And honestly, low-key, as a Trojan, I just,
oh my goodness,
it just feels nice for Mumford to finally be humbled. You know what I'm saying? Because they talk a big game, so it's really good to see them being humbled.
That's a black and gold pride.
Because you need to learn to have a little humility sometimes.
Black and gold pride. Well, we got some highlights of your black and gold not in such a great moment as Bolivar took care of business. Check it out. sights and sounds, and the sounds all this week. Unfortunate event happened on Tuesday in our area. For the second time in 2 weeks, unsanctioned senior skip day takes place. And there was a shooting at one in Memphis, and there was a shooting at this one on April 14th in Shelby Farms. And you hear about 200 kids, various schools. You think it's not going to hit close to home, but this one did. The young man that was shot, 17-year-old Mr. Bean, it was one of our babies. And he's no longer here. We don't know the circumstances. We don't know what took place, as Shelby County Sheriff's Office is still investigating. They put the information out there, and we got the information below, so you can if you have any information, to call to help the authorities get this case solved so we can get justice for what happened. So when you heard the news and you heard it was a Millington kid, what crossed your heart?
It was just, I knew I was going to probably know who it was, because Millington is such a small community. Like, everybody knows everybody in Millington. Like, and especially with him being an athlete, like, I've been on the sidelines at the football games. Like, I've seen this kid. I might not have, like, talked to him, but, like, I've seen him, interacting with the football team, playing on the football field. I've seen him. So it just feels so, like, weird. Because, like, in my head, it's like, I don't know, like, I've seen a ghost.
Yeah.
It's like, it just doesn't feel real that, like,
17, just a
17-year-old, like,
junior, got his whole life ahead of him.
You know what I'm saying? And it was just so young, and it's just so sad that his life got cut short, because he didn't even seem like the type to just be, a part of any drama or problems or anything.
Quiet kid.
He was quiet. I ain't never heard him talk ever. He never looked like he was angry when it comes to, like, football games. Young boys and their testosterone and all that stuff, different sides can come out. But he seemed like a very, like, chill guy from seeing him.
Now, he played offensive tackle, so he did get a nasty side when it comes to blocking and clearing space for his running backs and protecting Cole Hawkins and the backfield. And number 71, he was growing up. He went from a little pudgy kid, he sprouted up to 6'2", started coming to his form, and he was going to be an important part of the team coming up. But you put the game aside, and you think about that program back in 2012 when Dana Payne passed away. For the people still around, the Coach Niels, who is over at the board as a deputy superintendent, Coach G, the superintendent for Millington Schools, Coach Michaels, who stepped down as coach, but his last coach now. It hits all of them. We think about Coach Ford, Coach Kraft, who worked with them on the line, and all that. Even Coach Jason Nichols, who worked with the offensive line when he was a pup. All these men are now, like, one of their babies are gone, and it really. What are they going to his teachers and stuff like that? We saw so many posts, and they had a balloon release for him Wednesday out at the school and everything. So this community has been rocked before, so we know Millington can persevere and honor this child in an appropriate way. But it just still hurts. It just still, and now you're trying to make sense of it. Tuesday, a senior skip day on a Tuesday. Unofficial skip day, all this stuff, and it's like he's a junior. There's just so many things
There's so many things that could have gone the opposite way that could have prevented him from dying. That could have saved his life.
Yes.
If they would have pushed it to a Friday or a Saturday, Friday, maybe he would still be here. If he didn't go because he's a junior, maybe he would still be here. But I would like to say, like, I don't think we should criminalize or demonize senior skip day. Senior skip day should be something that kids can,
it's a rite of passage.
Do something. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I didn't get to have a senior skip day because I was graduating in the middle of COVID. So
class of 21.
So I just feel like let's not place blame on because a bunch of seniors got together. This is what happens. No. Let's blame the person who decided to pull out the gun. Who decided to pull the trigger. Let's blame that person. Let's not blame these kids for going out and having fun.
Well, you got to have fun responsibly. So I graduated in 1999. So we did have a senior skip day at Raleigh, Egypt. Me and my friends hung out there when we played basketball. We went and grabbed a quick bite to eat. Then we met up with the rest of our school at the Raleigh Springs Mall. That lets you know how old I am. We had a mall in Raleigh, and it was just us. There was no social media for us to connect with Craigmont, Tresvant. We might have seen them in our neighborhoods and mentioned it to them in passing, but they showed us respect and let us have our day. So everybody knew everybody. We were connected. So even if there was some hostility, we put it aside that day because we knew this might be one of the last few times we would all be together because we had a connection. But when you just see it as like a Coachella, a concert, a gathering. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Like a festival.
Like a festival. You come in with a loose mindset. There's no connection there. You know, he's the class of 27, not even class of 26. It's like, where's the bond? It's just, I saw it on social media. It's something to go do. And I think that disconnect played a part in it.
We can give him some grace because he's a football player. He's a junior. He's most likely were friends with seniors, so he probably had friends that were going to it that were seniors, and he just went with his friends.
Y'all are much nicer now. I'm in the class of 98. I had a lot of them as friends, and they got ready to do their senior picnics and senior events, and they looked at me like I was crazy. I was like, I'm gonna tag along. Like, no, you ain't. It's like, this is for us. This is the class of 98. You have your time next year. And I understood. I had a lot of friends in the class of 2000. Hey, can we come along? I said, you're not graduating in this century. Bye. So we did little stuff like that. But I saw them when I got back to school. But once you had that connection, it's something about the human bond. And the generation coming along now has the most opportunity to get knowledge of each other without being connected. Because it's on the phone. It's a swipe away. And you feel like you know a person, then you get in front of them. How do you interact with them? I think that does play a part in desensitizing, being able to de-escalate stuff.
I feel like that plays a part too, but I feel like sometimes it depends on the situation. Like, it depends on how we connect through social media, because a lot of people who connect through social media, they actually do like connect really well, in my opinion, especially if they have something in common, like K-pop or anime. Like, there's anime conventions, there's this and that. Like, I've met strangers that I've become friends with, or social media friends with and stuff like that, because I connected with them through social media, and then we we hit it off in person when we see each other. So I don't feel like social media can cause a disconnect. I don't think I feel like we can still connect with each other face to face because we connected so much online. I feel like we can disconnect on social media and disconnect in person too.
I've seen this in person. You've been out 5 years, and I see some of your peers and classmates will see each other and try to avoid each other.
I still do that. And I don't like to go to the Millington Walmart.
Yeah, and then we will go out, and I'll run into one of my classmates, and we come and hugging each other and sharing stories.
But it's different. Like, okay, if I was like really close with my classmates like that, I would want to be around them, Yeah. But I don't. It's like, I don't know them like that, and I don't want to interact with them.
Simply, I'm saying this right here. We had no other avenue to get friends and connection. The school building was just
it was the same for us too.
But you could go on your phone and keep up with what's going on at Mumford back when you in school. You could keep up with what's going on at
I did not have those connections.
But a few of your classmates do. You right now, if you've met a pen pal in California, you can go to his school's page and keep up with everything they got going on in California. We did not have that back then. That wasn't even an option. We barely knew what was going on at Craigmont. It's like,
but I'm just saying, through social media, you can connect through in person, and I don't want to blame the age of social media. Like, social media can kind of be toxic, but I feel like the real issue is how these children are raised out here, especially in the city of Memphis. A lot of these children are not raised right, and a lot of these children are raised in single parent households, and that these children are taught to react in a negative way, like pulling out a gun. Like, their mom was just telling them, if somebody look at you funny, if somebody talk to you funny, you can throw the first punch, or you can pull out your gun, blah blah blah. Like, a lot of people are raised to react that way. because their parents, their moms are probably reacting that way themselves. So it's also how they're raised also plays a big part in why they react and why they are so disconnected.
Wow, you said something deep right there. So to close out and to reiterate what you're saying, this is normal, not absolute. Most cases in general, men, we know that if we escalate a situation, it could be our last day on earth. A lot of these young men today don't know that because they don't have men showing them that. I'm sure Coach Kraft, all those guys try to tell them real life lessons. Coach Michaels, we talked to him at the game, try to talk about real life lessons. Are they really listening and taking it? It has to be something you see more routine on an everyday basis. It starts in the home. Those coaches are doing the best job they can.
And that's why it's so spectacular, especially with Coach Gates, rest in peace, the program that he had, what he wanted to do. I feel like it starts at home, but it also starts with the men in our community.
Reinforcement.
Like we've watched on other podcasts, like men are good at reinforcing respect, and men need to do that. Y'all have to be the reinforcement. Women can be, they can be respected as well, but it's easier for men to enforce that respect and enforce those boundaries so these kids can learn. Maybe I should apologize even when I'm not in the wrong. Maybe I could just say, hey, bruh, it's not that serious. You got it. Walk away. Stuff like that.
Well, to transition, there was some good news. Michael Perry, the principal of Millington High School, made a trip up to Mumford to watch his daughter sign. And a good dad and a man that pours back into the community's children, got to share a moment with his daughter and two of her teammates on the cheer team as they head out to Martin. And shouts out to Mr. Chapman, his daughter, as we mentioned earlier, Caitlin, she has signed to Southwest, and we're going to hear from them right now. Chapman's example that she said, so we all can be better out there. So my last question for you, you're heading out to Southwest, and it's a program. We've seen it say this area about Southwest, it's a growing program. What are you going to do to help it turn the corner?
I hope to just be a good attribute to my team and to lead with an example, like for other people.
You ready for that next chapter?
Yes.
Well, we're proud of you at the Millington Star. We want to congratulate you on your sign date.
Thank you.
I want to say thank you, ladies, for inviting me to y'all signing today. It's an honor. It's been an honor to coach y'all this past season. If I needed anything, I knew I could count on you, ladies. Thanks for stepping up, and I want to congratulate you on your college. And Coach Scotty and I will come and watch and cheer you ladies on, so give us a schedule.
We'll close out with our final segment, and every week I'm fortunate enough to write the bestsellers list. I made a pun off my name, and I can compile a top 10 on various topics. So we need to start featuring that, and we're going to do that in the final segment. And this week, the top 10 fast food mascots of all time. Quickly go through the bottom 5, starting at 10, Big Boy. If you've seen Austin Powers, you get the joke. Number 9, Wendy's. Number 8, The Noid from Domino's, big thing in the 80s. Number 6, Jack in the Box. That little cone head thing is hilarious to me. And number 6, a collective group of the cows from Chick-fil-A. They don't want you to eat them. Okay, so our top 5. The King from Burger King. Number 4, Yo Quiero Taco Bell. The Chihuahua from Taco Bell. Number 3, Pizza. Little Caesar from Little Caesar Pizza. Number 2, the Colonel Sanders, a grown man turning himself into a mascot. Who would have figured? And number 1, the obvious number 1, because you've seen him everywhere and you love him with his red hair, Ronald McDonald. Duh. So is my top 10 off?
No, I mean a little bit. Because you are more about like funny, jokes with the Taco Bell, Chihuahua. I've never seen that Chihuahua until he showed me this
serious
Chihuahua.
Commercials. He was Gigi is a girl.
I wouldn't even put that in my top 5 if we're being honest.
Gigi,
and
rest
then
in peace.
Wendy's. I don't know what your beef is with Wendy's, but Wendy's she's an iconic face. So
Where's the beef?
I would put that at like my number 2. You know what I'm
Is
saying?
it because of her mom on her little collar?
I don't know. It's just like she's just iconic. You know what I'm saying? Like when you think Wendy's, you think Wendy.
But they never made
her.
They never made her a walking mascot.
It's just like, I think they might have though.
I haven't seen her in a commercial. The real life one did a commercial. She said, "I'm grown now."
Like the real life Wendy did a commercial.
I need to laugh at you. You need to be a caricature, not a cute little girl.
Well, first of all, Colonel Sanders used to be, you know, his legacy of how he made all that chicken and all that
he
stuff.
had muscles. Then he turned into a hot dog.
In today's time.
That's why he shot up to number 2.
Back then, he was not funny. It was about him
the chicken was
being
good back
dead and his legacy and all that.
They have to be funny now because the chicken's not so good. So they have
Honestly,
to make it
I don't know how this chicken tastes. I haven't had KFC and I don't know how.
There's a reason why for that. Okay, and then the Little Caesar, great cartoon.
I feel like that's just like basic. You know what I'm saying? It's just
This
like,
little spear and got the 2 pieces on.
I think. I don't know.
And okay, the king.
He is iconic too.
Iconic.
He's funny.
He just became relevant.
I know, but he's my childhood. Like, I remember as a kid watching Burger King commercials, with the king. And honestly, I feel like he's gone now. I don't think they have commercials with him anymore.
Yeah.
So that was back in the... And then, you know what's funny? Speaking of Burger King, I did not say this the first time we recorded this, because this is the second time we recorded this. But... recently, Mary J. Blige, she has gone on a podcast and she's been talking about how she's upset about how Burger King handled her commercial of her singing the ingredients in the chicken wrap. And she actually talked about how in the commercial she said what's in the chicken wrap, because she actually didn't know what she was about to sing, and she seriously was asking like, what's in it? So everybody thought it was funny, but she was like, I don't think this is funny. I still don't think it's funny. And everybody's like, how was she perceived? How did she think that the audience perceived her for her to be so upset about it? But I'm sorry, that was just something that randomly popped up that I thought about. But
I think Mary's representatives are calling on it. We shoot these on Sunday, so we're not going to answer because it's Sunday. We're not going to answer. But let's
talk about Ronald McDonald's. Ronald McDonald's is definitely a number 1 because he's so iconic. I feel like if you were born in the early 2000s, you definitely have a picture with Ronald McDonald.
And now you're born in the 80s. I got a picture with
at the latest, the early 2000s.
That bench where he was sitting on with his legs crossed, or he was doing some kind of goofy pose like that. Yeah, you pose around.
But I was low key scared of Ronald because
he is weird.
It's a clown. But then they put him in statue form.
But if you saw Mary McCheese as a burger head on the hamburger with a prison outfit on, Grimace big purple thing, and Birdie was weird looking too.
Yeah, they were all kind of creepy.
But they were awesome. So he had a crew. That's also makes him number 1. He had a whole crew.
I didn't know about his crew until the Grimace drink came out. And they made it into a horror meme.
Yeah, that's a disrespect for Grimace. He was the lovable, playful one. And Hamburger would steal your burgers and stuff. And if you're a kid, you stole your friend's hamburger. Ooh, I have a hamburger. They're like, no, you not. You got punched in the face. So you saw big birdies flying around your head. But yeah, Ronald is an obvious number 1. Mm-hmm. But you got to put more respect on the Taco Bell dog, because he comes from an era where we're allowed to be racist. And I miss that era where we could just laugh at a joke. A little chihuahua. It wasn't even offensive. A few people did get offended by it, but it was cute. Gigi did her thing. The timing on it.
Just stand there. No, she didn't even really talk.
Well, they did a good job with the technology back then to move the lips to make it sound like Taco Bell. So yeah, even Latino people were like, "The kilo Taco Bell." They laughed at it. It was funny. It's like we could laugh at stuff back then. Now it's like we get offended by everything.
You can still kind of do that. Some comedians can get away with it, but yeah, not anymore.
Okay, well, we're gonna end things on a laughing note with a laugher. With Liyah's lens from highlights from, we kind of call them highlights from Cordova Mumford. That laugher with Mumford taking care of business, but your final words that you said on our previous recording are so true. We need to stay prayerful with the things going on in our world, overseas and everything like that, but even close to home. Let's stay prayerful and vigilant, and let's try to enjoy this prom season, graduation season, and have milestones and not funerals and tragedies.
Yes.
And we'll catch you next week.